Hello, hello. My name is Tiffany and I am a professional blogger at homeschoolhideout.com, as you probably already know. Today we're going to talk a little bit about blogging and what it all entails. So there are three key points that we're going to hit on today. The first one is image, the second one is audience, and the third is income. So first up, we're going to talk about your image. When you're a blogger, it's really important to present the same image across all of your social media channels. So what does that mean? Well, you have to be consistent and you need to remain relatable on all channels. So for me, I am relatable because I am a lazy homeschool mom. Now, if I'm on Pinterest moms are a whole nother ballgame. They love to do hands-on stuff with their kids and they're constantly doing crafts and all kinds of stuff. That is not me. That's not me on my blog. That's not me on my Facebook. That's not me on my Instagram. That is never me. So I don't change who I am based on what platform it is. What I do is I kind of alter each, on Instagram, for instance, I know what my audience there is looking for. They're looking for ways that they can enjoy their time with their kids. So I do that. So I go ahead and share a little bit more about that. On my Facebook page, the moms there are looking for ways to homeschool. They homeschool a lot. They are my more strict homeschool audience out of all of my social media. I still maintain that lazy homeschool mom persona that I have, and that is who I genuinely am. And I still fall back on that. That's who I am on Facebook as well. But on Facebook, instead of presenting fun ways to have fun ideas to have fun ways to have fun ways to have fun with my kids like I do on Instagram. Goodness. Instead, I present ways that we homeschool and how we have fun in our homeschool. So it's really, really important to remain relatable and remain consistent. Your image should always be those two things. And now let's move a little bit and we'll talk about your audience. Your audience, my audience has grown tremendously over the last year. But that's not always a good thing. I've had, especially with the coronavirus outbreak, I've had a lot of public school teachers that are coming to my blog looking for ideas on how to homeschool. Those are not my people. They love what I'm doing right now because they need it now, and I'm happy to help them with that. But my people are the homeschoolers that are going to homeschool for life. So I think it's really important that you know your audience. I want to niche down as far as possible. I mean, I could just be a homeschool blogger, but instead you want to get it narrowed down to where it's just a tiny little chunk of the people that you began with. And those are your people. Those are the people that are going to buy from you. They're going to read everything that you write on your blog. If you post on Facebook, they're the ones that are going to be cheering for you. Those are your people. That's who you want to follow you. So a lot of people say that bigger numbers are better, and maybe I could get a lot more Instagram sponsored content if I had the swipe up feature, but my people are on Instagram, so it doesn't bother me to not have a huge following on Instagram. In fact, I write to my people. I write to them on my blog because that's where they're at. A lot of bloggers, if you will, their biggest following is Instagram, or their biggest following is on Facebook. They still have a blog, and that's an avenue of getting new readers, but they make the most money using other social media outlets instead of their blog. If you look at it as your blog is a tool, in your business, these are all tools. Instagram, I don't spend a lot of time there because it's not the main focus for me. I know where my audience is, and I think it's really important. When you're writing, you have to write to your audience. I'm not writing for them, I'm writing to them. I want them to finish reading one of my blog posts and come out of it thinking, feels like I sat down and had coffee with my best friend. We just talked and, I learned a little bit from her, about her, and I feel more comfortable with her. That's how I want people to feel when they come out of reading a blog post. So another thing that's really important about your audience, most people will say, you need more page views or you need more subscribers. That's it. Those are the two things that people want. They want huge number to tell their friends, I have 1 million page views this month. But in reality, those page views come to your blog and they leave. The most important thing you can do for your blog is build an email list. Why is it important to build an email list? Well, who do you think is on your email list? You don't just give your email address to just anybody, right? Because you get tired of all the spam, constant emails. And everybody's the same way. Nobody likes to have to go check your email and have it full of emails from other bloggers. So most people are very picky about who they subscribe to, and those subscribers is where your money's at. They are the ones that will buy things that you recommend. If you tell them about a board game that you played with your family, they immediately click on that and they are giving you money just by you recommending it. It's being an influencer, obviously, but it's the subscribers. If they care enough to subscribe to your blog, they are the ones where the money's at. You can sell them products. You get page views every time you send out an email. They'll click and go read your stuff on your blog. So you're sending them to your blog over and over and over. So the most important thing you can build for your blog is a subscriber list. The next thing we're going to talk about, we've hit on this just a little bit, but is the income. A lot of people wonder how much you can make blogging. And the truth is, the sky is the limit. I know bloggers who have been blogging for 10 years and don't make a dime. They do it for fun. And I know bloggers that make $1 million a year. It's totally possible. The internet is a crazy thing. You can make so much money. If you're willing to work it, you can make unlimited amounts of money. It's out there. So I can't really tell you how much money can be made blogging because it depends on how much you're willing to work. I can tell you that last year I say less than 10 hours a week because in reality, I don't really touch my blog much in the summer, maybe 2 hours a week in the summer. And then I tend to hit it a little bit harder in the winter when I have more time at home and stuff. I'm a homeschool mom, so that's my job. That's my priority. Blogging is second to my homeschooling. So it always comes second, and I don't put a lot of time into it. If you wanted to work it 40 hours a week, like a real blog, you could make a full-time income, they say, in 9 months. They say by the time, if you work 40 hours a week, in 9 months, you should be making a full-time income. That looks different to everybody. To me, a full-time income is $2,000 because that's probably what I would make if I went to work, somewhere after taxes and everything. So it's different for everybody. But anyway, sorry. So I worked I say 10 hours a week. That's being really generous. And I made about $10,000 last year. This year, in January and February, I kicked it up a little bit because it was winter months and I was stuck at home and we kind of get into a homeschool slump. And already this year, I've made double what I made last year, which the coronavirus has helped that a lot. We've had a lot of searches from that. So the real thing here is that there's money to be made if you are willing to put in the work. So how do you make money from a blog? Well, there are 4 main ways. There's affiliate links, ads, sponsored posts, and products. So we're going to talk a little bit about those. The first one we'll go back to is affiliate links. So what is an affiliate link? Let's say I'm on Facebook and me and my family we read a good book this last week. So I write a little blurb, say, oh, you guys should check out this book that we read. My 12-year-old loved it. It was perfect for her and your kids will love it too. They click on that link and I get a percentage of the sales. Now, Amazon has a very small affiliate payout because they are a huge company, but you can get, there are a lot of products that pay 50%. So if someone spends $20 on something, I could make up to $10. Amazon, like I said, is not that high, but there are other networks that pay that much. So that's a really easy way to make money. And I can link to products in my blog post and they are there forever. So every day I don't have to do anything and I am just making money over and over. And I'm not putting forth any more effort than a couple hours that it's, originally took me to make that blog post. Okay, the second way that you can make money is advertisements. Everybody knows what advertisements are because they are everywhere, right? They are just the pesky little things that you can't get away from. So there are three main types of advertisements in a blog, and those are sticky advertisements, in-content advertisements, and mobile advertisements. So you've probably noticed if you went to my blog that there's a little bar across the bottom that sticks right there. It doesn't move. You can scroll and scroll and scroll and it doesn't move. You can X out of it and that's great, but I prefer you don't. The more you scroll, the more money I make, right? There are in-content ads. These are the ones that are in the middle. You're reading, and then all of a sudden there's a picture of Disneyland in the middle of a blog post that's, has nothing to do with Disneyland, but chances are you probably Googled Disneyland in the last 48 hours, or else that ad wouldn't be there. Those are called in-content ads. They're right in the middle of the content in the blog. The last kind of ads is called a mobile ad. It scrolls along with you. It's called mobile because it moves. It moves with you. If you scroll, it moves. If you scroll, it moves. It follows you. Those are so annoying, but they're good money makers. That's why everybody has them. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of ways to make money, but this is going to be my favorite probably. Sponsored posts. I love sponsored posts. They're the best thing about blogging. I love to try new products, so it's perfect for me. A sponsored post is when a company contacts you, or sometimes if you're passionate about a company, you can contact them. A sponsored post, you work with companies directly, and they pay you to try their product and let others know about what you think about them. The reason I love these so much is because I hate to shop, for one, but I'm always looking for ways to improve our lives and make things easier. So right now, actually just this morning, I signed a contract with my kids' math curriculum. It's called Teaching Textbooks. And just to give you an idea of how much you can make on a sponsored post, I signed this contract for just the blog post, no social media, nothing else. It's 800 words with 2 photos. And I have to give away one of their products, which they provide. So that's great. And they'll use that giveaway to draw readers to my site. So it's a win-win for both me and the company. So for this one 800-word blog post, which is basically not going to take me very long to write, I'm being paid $1,500. Okay, so $1,500 for let's say 2 hours worth of work. On top of that, my kids' math is going to be furnished for 1 year, 1 year subscription for all 3 of my kids. So I'm already saving like $330 just by not having to buy their math for next year. And then a lot of times whenever you get done with a product, you can turn around and resell it if you don't need it or don't want it or whatever. So you're making a pretty big chunk of money because let's be honest, companies have a lot of money to work with. They have big budgets. And whenever you are writing a sponsored post, you should always ask for more money than what you think, because what I think is an outrageous amount of money is tiny compared to what a big company, is spending on ads. So the fourth way you can make money on your blog is by creating products of your own. Now, this is a simple way to create passive income. And this is the way that most big bloggers make the most of their income, you can create ebooks, you can create courses, you can create printables. Printables are huge. If you've ever been on Shopify, there are thousands upon thousands of printables that people buy all the time. I actually just wrote my first ebook. It was scheduled to launch right when the coronavirus hit, so I didn't really push it very much. But in the last month, I still haven't pushed it. In fact, I just sent out my first email about it today. And since it's published, it is on my blog so people can find it if they're looking for it. It's a book about how to help homeschool moms survive, juggle everything from chores to, meal planning and all this stuff. And I had wrote it before I had millions of other new homeschool moms. So right now it's really hitting a target audience. And that's been really good for me. I'm selling this book at half price right now for $650. I think it is $649. And in the last month, I've made way over $500 just off this one book. This book I spent probably, let's say, 20 hours. That may be pushing it, but 20 hours writing this book, and it has a potential to keep selling every day. I get new sales on this book and it's just a great way to create passive income. So products are an amazing way. If you even just wanted to start without a blog, you could start a Shopify store and sell products there. Anyways, so you might be wondering, with all this money that's available to make, why is everybody not doing it? Well, it takes work, but what it doesn't take is a huge startup cost. If you were to start a business, a brick and mortar business just down the street, it would cost you $50,000 to $100,000 to get it up off the ground and going, right? I started my blog for the first year. I invested under $100 to get my blog going. I just did the bare necessities. I had hosting. I had a cheap web design logo. I paid for an email list right away. I paid for the hosting on that. There are very few things. If you are interested in starting a blog, you can check out on my website. There's a spot that shows you exactly how you can start for like $100 for a year. Just try it and see if it's something you're interested in. I did went ahead and invested into a blogging class. You can find a link to it on my blog. And it really taught me how to take my blog from a hobby blog, which it was at first, to a money-making machine. So I am still not willing to invest the 40 hours required, for a full-time blog, but I've been blogging for about 3 years and I make a full-time income. So it all depends on what you want to invest in it. A lot of people say you build a business, a brick and mortar business with money. You build a blog business with hours. You put in more hours, you're gonna explode faster. You're gonna make more money faster. So it's all in how hard you're willing to work. So if you guys have any questions about blogging, I'd be happy to answer them. You can visit my blog, homeschoolhideout.com. Go check out the class that I took. They have tons of free resources to help you get started. You don't have to invest anything. But anyways, I hope you guys liked hearing all about my blog. Have a good week.